Welcome back, disc golf fans. We have round 2 coverage coming at you for the 2021 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championships presented by Grip 6. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here by Nate Perkins. Nate, we are moving into round 2. We are at the Fort, and we have another star-studded card with one hidden boss of the disc golf world. Dallin Blanchard from Idaho is on our card. Has been 1020 rated since the end of 2019. And is now creeping up to the 1040 range, and I believe at 1037 rated.
Yeah, Brian, he has played 48 career PDGA events, and he has 29 wins. So one of the better records I've ever heard of. We're headed to the Fort today. There's not any other courses like the Fort, honestly.
Yeah, Emerson Keith actually said it best. It reminds him of scrappy Texas golf in every sense of the word. A lot of the fairways have specific landing zones where you think you might be in the middle, but actually there's a specific part of the fairway you'd rather be. I think it's an absolutely beautiful piece of property. They've put so much work in over the years, and it's looking really pristine right now.
We're going to see quite a few forehands from Gregg Barsby. I don't think we're going to see a single forehand from James Conrad.
Par for the course here. Let's jump into it and take a look. Hello and welcome, disc golf fans, to the front nine coverage of round 2 of the 2021 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championships presented by Grip 6. This commentary is brought to you by Bria Disc Golf. Thank you so much to them. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here by Nate Perkins. Jumping into round 2, we move to the Fort, polar opposite from Mulligans Golf Course. Nate, what do you think about this track?
The Fort is the equalizer of this world title. We're playing it 3 times. This is the first time we're getting a look at it for this event. Dallin Blanchard, Thomas Gilbert knotted at the top at 9 down. Gregg Barsby and James Conrad at 8. This is the chase card. There is someone with an 8 down that is on the 5th card, Brian.
Absolute gridlock at the top of this leaderboard, and the Fort, like you said, is the equalizer. This Flight Factory drone flyover showing us hole 1. Make sure to check them out at flightfactorydisc.com. 315, pick a side. There's one guardian tree you really have to miss. OB long.
Welcome to the 2021 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championships. This is our 240 MPO A pool tee time. First on the tee pad today, currently sitting at 49 strokes from Idaho Falls, Idaho. Let's put our hands together for Dallin Blanchard! Following Dallin, also sitting at 49 strokes from Toronto, Canada. I need a big warm welcome for Thomas Gilbert! Following Thomas, currently sitting at 50 strokes, we have a PDGA Pro World Champion from Grass Valley, California, Gregg Barsby! And rounding out our card today at 50 strokes from Blacksburg, Virginia, let's give it up for James Conrad!
Here you have it, folks. This is going to be an exciting round. Lots of varying play styles here. Dallin is a super athlete, tall, strong, and a very well-rounded game as well.
He's going Glow MD3 here.
Just smooth hyzer flip. Doesn't quite get to flat. Sticks in the sand.
And hole 1 is playing as an island. There's a creek about 250 out, and then the river is only 30 feet long of this pin. You proceed directly to a drop zone if you miss this island.
Thomas going putter. I believe a PA3. Look at that flip. Just hit that skinny tree. So close to sliding up to the basket, but still within putting distance.
There's quite a few of those skinny trees to miss at the 50-foot range out here at the Fort.
And we're going to see a lot of fairway driver forehands from Gregg. One of the best to do it. Long,
That's
slow
so
flex.
butter, man. That is a beautiful shot. It's an eagle from Gregg.
And James just throwing that beautiful MVP plastic.
This is his envy. It's a stable one.
He really does lean on this mold quite often. Matches the way he throws perfectly. Hard and flat.
Stay up.
Same tree. They are all in play, moving up to the green. Thomas from about 45, 50 feet, straddling the log.
Tough footing right there. You could tell it was getting in his head just a little bit. Oh, and James actually having to go to a straddle here. It's somewhat of a death putt. There's sand between the basket and the river, so it's not a fast green, but it's only 25 feet past the basket.
Oh, right away, straddle jump putt from James. And it's not like his normal jump putt. I love that he has a few different styles of that shallow circle 2 jumper.
He really didn't get to his routine there. As soon as his feet were set and in that sand, he just kind of stabbed it.
Barsby also stabbing it in on the weak side. That's going to be a birdie for him as well. The first couple holes in this course, you really have to put your foot on the gas and build up some cushion for some of these tougher holes coming up. Thomas taking a par. And finally we get to Dallin's drive.
Yeah, hole 1 must be, if not the first, it's the second easiest hole on the course.
Averaging a 2.8. Not too many bogeys, I would say, but a lot of pars from missed putts. Number 2, Nate, what do you think about this 201-foot hole?
This is the most straightforward hole on the course. You're going over the Weber River here, and the OB is only 35 feet long. It's a real touchy shot, though. You want to get the nose up so that you slow the disc down and don't go deep.
Dallin going high flex sidearm. Spits through that canopy, and he's going to be putting from about 25 feet. Gregg probably doing something similar. Is this a rhino? Yeah.
He does like the rhino.
Such a slow disc and a foot or two away from being a perfect drive. Not a fun
Better than
spot to hit a
rollaway, I
putt
guess.
from.
So that log is actually in bounds. The river is the only thing out of bounds short.
And like you said, stalling the disc with the nose up is a big deal. So a lot of these players throwing putter are going to try to put a little anhyzer on it as well to counteract the stall. Just like that. Exactly like that. James is inside the octagon. Or is it a hexagon, Nate?
PA3 from Thomas. Same disc he just threw on 1. Did that bounce off?
That roll bounced off that right side, straight out of bounds. And you never want to go to the drop zone on this hole.
It's hard to run it from right there. This is one of the most exposed baskets on the course and slightly elevated. Easy to 3-putt from that drop zone.
Giving it a bid. Gregg is going to take a safe 3. And here's Dallin, after getting through that canopy, hoping to take another birdie stroke here. Really love his putting stroke. And he gets another one, 2 for 2.
Doesn't spend much time down in his stroke.
Nope.
Gets the putter down, Putts from low to high. Kind of like this guy right here. There's not too many players that putt from real low and to up real high into the basket.
Yeah, James's spin putt is clearly 100% of a spin putt with the way he releases it. But yeah, like you said, he brings it straight down and in to his hip instead of straight up into out. Barsby's going to get a 3, as will, well, Thomas is actually going to be tapping in a 4 after going to the drop zone there. Unfortunate error, but also roll bouncing off that right side is not always going to happen. Let's actually jump back in and check in with our lead card. A couple of drives here from Jomez Pro.
Oh, the dart.
We got the spin putt.
To spin it in, Nate. Oh, he doesn't.
This type of putt, that spin putt from Sexton, a tool that he added to his arsenal early on in his career, I believe 06 or 07. He actually taught a college course on disc golf, and our pro darts are what the students got. So he said he got a lot of practice with the mold. And
what a catch, too, with that right side. That was amazing.
that soft plastic showing the dart off to the team. And look at Kevin's line.
Kev.
Huh?
What did he just throw? I haven't seen it. I don't think anyone else is throwing a hyzer over those trees. It's 100 feet in the air.
I still remember the first R Pro dart I ever got. I took it to the course and immediately I knew that it was a disc that was going to make my bag. It's just a disc that feels like it was made for my hands. It feels all I have to do is think about what I want it to do and it just does it. And that's why I usually carry at least 2 or 3 of them in all the tournaments I play.
Hole number 3, 516, par 3, so treacherous. Anything before this creek is out of bounds and you proceed to the drop zone. Power right-handed players, though, are going to go wide hyzer, and actually there was a little tiny bit of a crosswind, allowing them to swing one wide and even lower than they normally would to let that crosswind lift the bottom of the disc up. So let's see if Dallin has what it takes.
Hole 3 is a test of a true power player. If you can throw a 500-foot hyzer, this hole becomes much easier.
And he gets the green.
It's slightly downhill, but there tends to be this headwind, right to left wind, which you can't really throw a flippy disc into it to help you cover that ground.
No.
You have to power this shot.
Yeah, speed is the name of the game here, and James definitely has that, but he's
going
going
up the middle.
straight.
He's a wizard.
No way, it's going to flex out.
Go.
James.
Green. Okay, I didn't see the out of bounds signal.
It definitely looked like he had every bit of what it took to get across.
Even with it getting slowed down with that little branch hit.
Barsby showing off the backhand power as well.
Oh no.
Go.
Oh, and he goes inside.
There are trees off to the left side that might block him. And it looks like he gets the green. He's not happy with it because it's still a very challenging upshot to get to the basket from that angle. Wow.
Tomcat has one of the biggest arms in the game. Going D1 blaster.
Something really unique about Thomas's throw is that it comes out completely silent out of his hand. One of the cleanest releases I've ever gotten to witness. Almost eerie. Tough upshot from Barsby. He sticks it. Nose up Anheuser, flattening around the corner to make sure it doesn't go too far right. That is a masterful line. Someone who grew up playing in the woods, Condon Park in Grass Valley. And I guess he was safe on the edge.
These are touchy little shots. Those trees are at like 35.
Yeah, this one averaged a 3.33. This is not an easy hole to even put in play. Thomas for birdie. There it is. That was
What a
so
putt.
solid from Thomas. Please rewind that. Give us the Gatekeeper rewind. Just snaps it on that little anhyzer. The nose up allows it to flatten out at the end, and the right side catches it. That's a great, great putt from Thomas, especially after that unforced bogey on the previous hole. Taking strokes in the field, taking the 3 here. That actually, from where he was at, was probably feeling more like a birdie for him at this point.
Absolutely, going inside hyzer.
And you got to love the flower bed underneath the baskets out here. These little touches are so impressive. And it looks like club members or locals to the area are assigned a specific hole to maintain. So you see a little bit of individual touch on that. Moving into number 4, Nate, what do you think about this 655-foot par 4?
Well, the landing zone is nearly impossible to reach for the right-hand backhand. It really is. This is the hardest hole at the fort. A lot of players are just throwing a putter or a mid-range into the center of this fairway because of how tough the rough is. It looks like Thomas is speeding it up here, though.
He's so good at these hyzer flip stand-ups. Look at this line.
And that's the shape, but it needs to be even more of an inside-out hyzer flip. It
Yeah,
needs to
with
be
a little bit more speed.
Traveling left and then flipping up late at 380. It's one of the most specific drives I've ever come across.
And that's the common miss, is getting it to flip up to flat too early. And that right side is not easy, because what you need to do on this course in general is, if you have to just pitch out, you're automatically losing a stroke, and the chance at par is just not there. You have to advance these fairways.
James has been playing this flippy NV off the tee.
Yeah, it's exactly where you want to go.
He's going to have an angle from there to throw a hyzer flip.
Gregg going with a driver. Let's see if he can get this one to ride left before it flattens. That left side is not pretty, though.
No, it's not.
Let's actually take a quick jump back for Thomas. And actually, Thomas's throw is just beautiful. I think when it comes to spin rate, generates more spin than almost everybody. Note how his disc and his back foot are completely locked together through the entire approach. Fantastic shot from Thomas.
This is James's relay, so this is a pretty flippy fairway driver. Steep hyzer. Oh, it was so close and
Wow.
just gets one of the trees on the back wall.
Still not terrible, but we might see a sidearm like you were calling James to not throw. He might have to do one from there. And Thomas pitching out, but still advancing the fairway, which is exactly what you need to do on this hole. This averaged a 4.85, Nate.
And that shows you how pinched this angle really is. If you're off the fairway, Thomas could only throw 150 feet right there.
Sticks it. That is a great layup, and then a clean putter shot up to the basket. That's going to be a nice 4 for Thomas. Ooh, inside forehand. Puts him to about 30. No problem there for Barsby. Again, as you can see, this is where most people are landing on their second shot. Getting around the corner is just absurd.
Look how tiny this gap is.
playing the ground perfectly. James is going to be up there as well.
It's the touchiest backhand shot I could imagine. A 5-foot gap.
Well, and throwing a touch shot into the ground on purpose is not easy either.
And now that all of our players are into the circle now, Brian, we had 209 people play this hole, and only 6 people made it into circle 2 in regulation, with none carding a birdie. 0 birdies on hole 4.
So this is more of a soft par 5, you could call it.
It's really one of my favorite holes that I've played. I adore the line off the tee and then approaching. You've got the river right behind it.
Any hole where you see, you know, more than a handful of different ways to play it from the players, that is something that I enjoy as well. And Thomas gets his par, moving into number 5.
I got to imagine just laying up for a smart par with the Sirius.
I think he's going to give it a cheeky run.
Wow, if he throws this in.
Oh! Are you kidding me? Wow, unbelievable from Nico LaCastro, OTP nominated. Wow, look at the lift, Sexton.
No way.
Only on the Disc Golf Network.
Too short there for Bradley.
Live disc golf. Guys, I'm telling you, that's where it's at.
Moving into number 5, the bullseye hole. Really touchy tee shot, and you just want to get it to this elbow. And even when you get to the elbow, you have a really awkward second shot up to this basket with the water right behind it. This is one of the toughest 540-foot par 4s that I've played. There's also a Mando tree off to the left, about 150, 200 feet off the tee pad.
The landing zone is 10 by 10.
Yeah, it's only 10 by 10 box, and Thomas pretty much landed it. That's a phenomenal drive. Looks like he threw it mid-range there.
There's a couple of these holes out here that have a little metal sign in the center of the landing zone that says landing zone. It's quite a nice touch.
Flippy envy from James. That needs some late flip. And it looks good, but you just really never know on this hole. If you're just a bit too far right, there's no chance to get around the corner. It's so specific. Keep coming.
Goodness, dude. How did that find that far?
I think he did make the Mando, barely. Clipping that branch stabilized him a little bit, and it looks like Dallin's just going to go with a forehand here.
He's going Firebird. Oh, no. Oh, that kicked left, Brian.
Oh, no, and he's out of bounds left.
Bounds. So I actually got word about this shot right here, and we're going to see this a couple times at the fort, but the mandatory line actually works its way back and toward the tee pad, so you can miss the Mando with being 200 feet short. So he misses the Mando, and then he proceeds to that drop zone.
Interesting.
It's kind of questionable, honestly.
There's a few holes like that out here. It just brings up the many gray areas in disc golf. Look at this
James is
envy.
So pure. That gap is 8 feet across. He's putting for birdie.
Wow.
And so Thomas was at the corner of that 10 by 10 landing zone, and he's having to go out and around, showing you just how small the landing zones really are. That log is at like 45.
And he's putting for birdie as well. Soft putter from Gregg, no problem there.
Those KC AVRs that he has are just so nice and seasoned.
With the bead worn down over time, it feels like a regular AVR.
They've probably been thrown in more than any other disc.
Yes!
He just got a par.
Yeah,
He just got up and down from the drop zone.
Yeah, great angle here. Safe run, too. Kind of stalls it a little bit, and that is heart right in the center of the chains.
Brian, how do you make the disc wobble? What makes the disc wobble like that?
When the airspeed is, it's like a knuckleball. Airspeed up against the front of the disc, not enough spin to keep it stable. Oh, look at Thomas. That was for birdie.
Wow.
Beautiful late turn drive with the inside sidearm, and then there's the spin putt. One of my favorite spin putts in disc golf. Weak side catch. He's stoked. And he's fighting. He's absolutely fighting back.
Yeah, those are two phenomenal birdies on 3 and 5. And here's Conrad to go 3 under through 5.
Envy. James would have been a top player in the 80s as well. I firmly believe any decade that James gets injected into, he would be a top player. Maybe even more so back in the day. Definitely holding it down for the flippy putter throwers of the world. Barsby's going to save a par. Some scrappy play on this hole from our card.
All right, we're heading into a series of par 3s here. Starting with hole 6, there are 3 options. None of them are great. We've got this Annie line on the left, up and over the mound. It's very touchy.
Thomas is going to go the high turnover with the putter. The line looks great. And there he is, putting for birdie.
That's probably the most common line, wouldn't you say, Brian?
Yeah, the high side of the hill is much easier to throw. And you can see the fact that James is not choosing to go straight at it shows that there is something there. James normally opts to go straight at the basket. Look at this long drifting turnover. Hits the canopy, unfortunately, and that's why you saw Thomas's drive go a little bit lower. You could tell he was being deliberate with that.
It's one of those lines that you have to just trust is there, because you can't really see it from the tee pad, but once you walk up there and you get past that bush and over the hill, you can see the window.
And Gregg is opting to try to go straight up the gut, and he puts himself to late circle 2. Not sure what he has from there. And
Overhand.
I say well-rounded for Dallin's game. He does have an overhand. Whoa.
What?
And a slider from Dallin. That almost
Slider, huh? That's great.
Definitely looked like a slider out
Yeah.
of his hand. And he's going to be just taking a 3 there. Just a little bit too low. I could tell exactly what he was going for. If he had just missed the hill and got that bounce off the ground, especially with the pace he put on that.
These are not easy holes to park. These 3 par 3s that we have here.
James from about 70. And he is fine with a par. He knows he's shooting well. Spits him out on the weak side.
From circle 1. That's frustrating after just cashing from 50.
Yeah, definitely a bit too left, and especially with him being a spin putter, weak side catches are not as common unless your tempo is really good.
Gregg
Awesome
being
putt.
very deliberate, very sticking to that routine. And we've seen him go to this kind of stagger, more direct putting from inside the circle. But for this event, we're noticing him go back to that classic straddle kind of
Pitch putt,
elevator.
you could say. You know, the putts they used to throw in the old baskets.
Women are being featured in the magazine.
The women are out there, the pro women, so then it kind of motivates a lot of us amateurs to like go out there and not be afraid.
I would love to see more tournaments like this in the future for women's disc golf.
I want to see more women filling spots in a tournament than men. That'd be something to brag about.
Disc golf's legit and we're here to stay and we're gonna make names for ourselves.
Say yes to disc golf!
Hole number 7, 345, shooting downhill off this beautiful platform. It is a hyzer flip to flat that fades out at the end, or a little flex shot that lessens the speed in which you come in on hyzer. Either way, you have to miss these trees and not go too straight. There is that river behind it. Flat out of Thomas's hand.
Ooh, but it's stable. Look at that. No. It's so hard to find the river.
Especially going underneath that log. That is a real shame, but he should have at least a look for a circle 3. James going a little high. Yeah, you got to miss the canopy here.
You said it. We're on top of this platform here, and you can't really follow through. You kind of have to short arm your shot because of the way the end of the tee pad just drops off.
Yeah, this is definitely a mountain golf feeling tee pad. You have to just snap the disc. Dallin going right of everything. And spits him out to a decent spot. He's going to have a long putt for birdie. And this is what I love about James right here, folks. He takes an approach even from 90 to 100 feet.
This is touchy. He's going to have a log putt.
And here's a long birdie for Dallin. Oh boy, a lot shorter than we thought for James. 40 feet.
Ooh.
Definitely a tight window there. You had the branches up top, you had the log down low. He'll also be taking a 3. Good save. Again, like you said, with all these logs and trees blocking that river, it's really unfortunate for his shot to go through everything and go into the water. It actually looked probably like the best drive of the whole card. But that's kind of the name of the game in the woods. You never know what's going to happen. First blemish of James's card.
Yeah, we're getting a good look at how difficult it is to string birdies together here at the fort.
And let's take a quick lead card check-in yet again from Jomez Pro. Let's take a look at Kevin Jones here. That had world champion pace on it, no fear.
So confident. Probably the most confident Circle 2 putter I've ever seen.
We move into number 8, checkmark hole. Very specific line. If you're taking the sidearm, a high stall shot, high with a little anhyzer out of your hand with the driver. I've also seen some really incredible backhand shots on this as well, but it's a lot more specific.
It is so technical for the right-hand backhand.
Thomas very solid with the hyzer forehand.
Yeah, he is been training with Nate Sexton for the last year and a half, 2 years. Added that little Sexton hop into his throw. Now his forehand is getting fine-tuned.
Might be a little inside.
Slow down. Wow, he was chain height right there.
And that's also in C1. He's putting for birdie as well. This is a really challenging hole to get a putt on. And we are 2 for 2 at this point.
Oh no.
And there it is. And this is a problem on this hole. When you hit early, you have a lot to deal with. Let's see if James can nail this turnover line. Flippy Envy.
The difficulty here is that there's out of bounds straight and left. So if you don't get this turned over, you're going straight to a drop zone at 60 feet.
And you have no room to hang it left to swing the Anheuser. It's a punch Anheuser.
Oh, it looked like it had the angle and just catches some. Oh, and that's out of bounds.
It was literally exactly what you were talking about. Just didn't get the turn on it. It just was a little bit too high, nose up. And look what Dallin has to do here. Big turnover.
Yeah, Dallin. Great shot.
And I think he's right there putting as well. James!
In the heart from 60 on the elevated basket. Gatekeeper rewind. Look how low.
Full commitment. Nose up Anheuser. Perfect putt. That was going to go every bit of 50 to 60 long if he didn't touch anything. And the man is on a mission today. Especially after taking that bogey in the last hole. He does not want any more bleeding. This would be a phenomenal up and down from Dallin.
This would be huge. He was so pinched. He went deep.
That's going to be a bogey for Dallin.
What a turnover shot he threw to get there, though.
Yes, what a birdie from Gregg. If there was a player to birdie this hole, he would probably be one of the top 5s that I would choose. Alongside you, Nate. And Thomas also throwing a beautiful sidearm. There it is. Another birdie for Thomas. He's fighting back. And you said it. It's really hard to string together birdies out here. Even a good drive sometimes does not get rewarded with an opportunity for a bird. But we move into hole number 9, Nate, the par 5. What do you think?
It's 450 feet to this mandatory right here. You can try and play it around the mandatory. If you're feeling good about it, it's another 400 feet from that Mando. You can't really see the pin, and there's a couple options. There's an option left. There's like a hyzer flip to the right side of the fairway. This is an amazing par 5.
Yeah, if you split the fairway down the middle, you need to be on the right side if you want an easy look around the corner.
Yeah, the common miss here is to hyzer it into that wall, and then you have to just pitch around that mandatory. And I forgot to note that this was our first backup of the course. You can actually see the lead card here with the chase card, watching them throw their shots.
And Gregg has put his, I believe, on the right side.
This is James's Photon.
This is, I believe, an 11-speed control driver. That's got to keep going. I think that has enough to be a solid shot, at least to bend one around the corner instead of wasting a shot. Dallin has not been pinpoint this round. Let's see if he can recover. Just looks a tiny bit off in the drives. That looks clean.
There it is.
I think that's a Roadrunner. And that is a beautiful shot. Right
Exactly
there.
what you want. Let's actually jump back here. James throwing a photon on this hole. Everyone says James's form is a little unorthodox from how big his run-up is, but when you look at his timing, if you go back and even use the YouTube slow-mo controls, James's timing is immaculate. And that's the reason he can take such big and fast strides. Great shot for James. Thomas going big hyzer. That's the most common mistake you can make. He's now going to have to go patent pending to even get himself a look.
Greg, wide open over there. This shows you how beneficial it is to be right and give yourself an angle.
Yeah, exactly. And just putting it in play on this hole, you know, you don't need an eagle. Birdie's going to take you a lot of strokes. And a really interesting shot from James.
Fireball skipper. He can do it on command.
Yeah, some of my favorite skip shots come out of James because of how much he loves throwing those wicked overstable discs.
He does it in practice all the time. He's like, look, Nate, I'm going to skip it off the tee pad. I'm like, okay, James. Yeah.
Calm down. So Thomas is going to have to go inside here. He just needs to advance the fairway. Okay.
Roller.
Okay. If it's stable enough of a disc, it actually isn't a bad play. As long as he's out of the open.
Shrug.
It's better than the other side. So this shot from James, because he doesn't have a sidearm really, or chooses not to throw a sidearm really, this is going to be tough for James.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough shot to park. I think he's going left side here with this flippy envy.
Little low, but might not be too bad.
This green is pretty guarded.
One stepper sidearm from Gregg, and that's exactly what he wants.
It's got to go. It's pretty common to be putting from the front side of that hill. Oh, Thomas really juiced this roller. Is he going up and over, Brian?
I guess. Okay.
Oh, that's hot. Slow down.
No!
It's in the river.
And that's got to feel maybe a little
So
silly. Yeah.
I mean, he has to be one of the only players in the field to go in the river on this one. The river is like 80 feet away from the basket.
And, you know, he was trying to take obstacles out of play, and I completely understand why he did it, and probably needed to even throw it higher.
No, he
James.
almost gets that 60-foot Anheuser spinner. That was dead center.
That was
And look at
maybe
this, he
one of the
can't
worst
believe
spit outs
it.
that I've ever seen.
To save it from the river.
Wow. That might have gotten caught up on a chain link or something. That was miserable. You got to feel bad about that, especially after going long OB. He's got to take some time and focus again, because that, we all feel that. I don't know if I've had a spit out that bad before. And honestly, after watching one of those spit outs, you know, when you're next to putt, it definitely goes through your head a little bit. Do I need to putt mine softer now?
Gregg playing hole 9 pretty textbook, cracking his drive over to the right, giving himself an angle, covering ground on his second, and then pitching the flick up around the hill. This is a wild course. So much can happen at any moment.
Yeah, as you can see, we have a multitude of colors on these scorecards. Par for the course at the fort here. There you have it for the front 9. Our leaderboard is heating up. Emerson Keith is
7 on the front.
a tear.
Pars,
on a tear out
Pars
here.
on 3 and 4, which we said no one birdied for. He nearly played the front perfect, Brian.
And we move into the back 9 with our card. Again, thank you so much for supporting Gatekeeper Media. Subscribe to them on YouTube. Again, I'm Brian Earhart. He's Nate Perkins. We will see you next time.